Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we've got ourselves a brand new Chap Mei dinosaur. And not just a brand new Chap Mei dinosaur, we've got ourselves a brand new species from Chap Mei, as we have a raging concavenator. And that is super cool. I don't think I ever expected Chap Mei to create a concavenator, but here we are, and I'm not complaining. You can see the figure here has basically like the open area of the box where it stands, and then as far as the box goes, you can see it says Play Zone and Dinosaur. So I'm really surprised that it doesn't say the Dinosaur Valley, which is what this line usually is. I don't know if maybe they are leaving the Dinosaur Valley line or what, but you can see on the back again, Play Zone, Dinosaurs, Raging Dinosaur, and you can see that we have 3 different figures in this wave of these dinosaurs. We've got the Concavenator, a Cryolophosaurus, and I guess that would be a little T-Rex right there, which I'm going to actually review all 3 of these here on the channel. But you can see they also are light and sound figures, which very clearly we have like a little dino damage area here on the side, which would activate the light up feature, which I'm thinking is probably that Concavenator hump up there on the back. So as always, we're going to pop this out of the box, and then we're going to jump straight to a closer look and check it out from there. So starting up here at the head sculpt of the Concavenator, you can see we've got a pretty decent look for the figure. You've got the nostrils sculpted out right there. You've also got some decent skin texture here moving through the face. Same deal for the lower jaw. You've got a pretty cool color scheme for it as well. You have a very dark brown for the majority of the face, and then you have this lighter tone for the body as you move back, but you can see the brown basically cuts off like not even halfway through the lower jaw. The majority of the upper part of the dinosaur's head here and everything has that dark tone. But I think that the dark brown leading back around the eye was a really nice touch because it makes that green eye pop really, really nicely. Of course, you've got an articulated jaw for the figure. You can see the teeth sculpted out there on the inside of the mouth. They're painted with a white coloration, and there's not really anything else going on the inside of the mouth. No tongue or anything, basically just the teeth here. And again, that jaw works pretty nicely. That's as far open as it goes. That's as closed as it goes. So, again, something that's very common with Chap Mei dinosaurs. You don't normally, like nowadays anyway, you don't normally get the mouth all the way closed. You can see the same case here for the Concavenator. As you move back here into the body, you start to pick up a striping effect moving down the course of the neck with that dark brown, which definitely plays off of the lighter tone here of the body really quite nicely. Absolutely makes that area stand out. You can also see the scale detail actually looks really awesome. There's a lot of scale detail to be found on this figure, and it's very vibrant. Lots of variation to the sizes of the scales. As you move down to the underside, you've got a few skin wrinkles and stuff, and the detail does become a bit muted here on the underside, unfortunately, but the detail up here on the back looks excellent. It really does. As you move down, you could see a few kind of like bumps right here, kind of like bumpy scales. You see a few more of those here as you move through the body, kind of like osteoderm-like scales. Much larger scale detail here as you move into the stomach region of the Concavenator. As you move down into the arms, you can again see a few osteoderms here and there, some more muscle definition. You've got some folded and bent fingers. You can see the scoots moving down the fingers. The nails are not painted, but you can see they are sculpted out pretty decently. And you do have articulation, of course. You can move it forward and back, basically almost swivel it all the way around, but it kind of gets stuck right there. You again have the area here to activate the light up feature, which is kind of like a dino damage area here, and again, it's just basically painted out with a pink as far as that wound goes. You do have the dark brown return here as you lead up into the back of the dinosaur, and that basically overtakes the back of our Concavenator. You do have like a really cool kind of scoot-like appearance that picks up right around that Concavenator hump up here, and you can see even that is really nicely detailed. It has a translucent sort of like a red-orange look to it, which is pretty cool. Again, that's going to light up at some point, I'm sure, when we get to that point, but the actual skin texture and everything up there in that area does look really quite nice, very vibrant. And then as you move down into the thigh, you can see again the skin texture continues to look really quite nice. Nice muscle definition, a few more osteoderms poking up here and there. You've got a kneecap sculpted out, the calf muscle as well, and again the scale detail continues to look really good on this. Definitely pops quite nicely. You got like some scoots moving down along the back of the leg, and then you see scoots moving down the entire front pretty much of the shin all the way down into the toes. You do have the toes sculpted together again like you usually see when it comes to Chap Mei figures. You can see the nails again sculpted out, and the insides of the legs are kind of opened up and hollow, but weirdly enough you can see the inside actually does sport the scale detail in there, which is intriguing. You also have a claw poking off of the back of the foot right there as well. And again, when it comes to the Chap Mei dinosaurs and their, basically the Dino Valley line, even though these aren't technically labeled as Dino Valley, I would imagine they still are. They always create their dinosaurs in a very stylized way, and you can definitely see the same case for their Concavenator. As you lead out into the tail, you do have one more little area of that dark brown picking up, and then as you lead out through the rest of the tail does not feature any coloration at all, but really nice looking scale detail as well, and you can see a few more kind of bumpy scales or like ridges leading off of the back of the tail as you move out. You can also see a really nice curve up and down. The tail is obviously a bit short compared to what you would actually see on a Concavenator, but yet again, Dino Valley, their figures are basically like modern, like if we stumbled upon dinosaurs now, so who knows what they would actually look like. So I guess, maybe this could be a modern day version of what a Concavenator would look like. Maybe it would have a shorter tail. But as you move along the underside, you can see all sorts of creasing and everything in the skin, and again, the detail looks pretty good until you reach right here in the stomach and chest, and it becomes a little bit muted as you move back up. Of course, you do have articulation in the legs again as well, forward and back, really quite smooth, really nicely. And then if you turn the figure around, again, you have the same articulation on both sides with the legs and everything. This side, unfortunately, does feature some screw holes and the battery compartment for the battery to go into, but unfortunately, like, the figure's pretty thin, so I don't think there's really anywhere else they could go with it. You also have the area here to let out the sound. Again, one of those instances where the figure is pretty thin, so you don't really have too many options as far as where you can put stuff like that on these figures. But honestly, when it comes to this, when it comes to like what I expect for Chap Mei, this is like a really cool looking version of a Concavenator from them. Definitely excited to see a new species from them, especially one so cool. As far as the sound effects and everything goes, let's go ahead and push this button. So you could see that it lit up the hump of the Concavenator. You also heard the noises, which is like that almost at this point like trademark Chap Mei dinosaur roar they've been using for years, and it has almost like that old school sort of feel to it, which is one reason why I love it. I also kind of get like just that old school Chap Mei vibe from that roar, so it's got like a strong nostalgia to it for me. But I do want to dim the lights here just so we can kind of see that light up feature a little bit better. So I don't know if we're dimmed enough, but let's go ahead and see it. So it very much so lights up that hump on the back quite nicely as far as the Concavenator goes. As far as a size goes, for a length from the snout to the tail, you are looking at about 9¼ inches or around 23.5 centimeters, and for a height to the top of that hump, you're about 5 inches or around 12.5 centimeters. And of course, you could make the dinosaur stand up taller, of course, depending on the way you position it, and then you can make it really tall if you want to. It's really up to you. But for a size comparison, we have Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect A human being next to our Concavenator. And you can see that the Concavenator has some pretty decent size, but it's by no means a massive figure. We have had similar Chap Mei figures in the past in this size range with like a Dilophosaurus and a Carnotaurus and stuff like that. So we're pretty familiar, I think, if you are a Chap Mei collector with this size range. But for one more comparison, when you think of classic Chap Mei, it doesn't get more classic than this T-Rex. And you can see the Chap Mei Tyrannosaurus is obviously quite a bit larger than our Concavenator, and that was to be expected. But just in case you were interested in seeing a comparison between these two, I really did want to give that one to you because I just love this Rex, and anytime I can break it out for any reason whatsoever, I'm quite happy about it. And because I know if I don't compare these two, I will have a lot of angry people in the comments section, but here is the Mattel Concavenator next to the Chap Mei Concavenator, and you can see the Mattel version is a bit larger, of course, than our Chap Mei version, but they do look really cool next to each other. There is no doubt about that. So this brand new Chap Mei Concavenator is definitely a fun figure. Again, I am such a big fan of Chap Mei, and I have been for so long, like since my son was little, and he is now just about to hit 15 very soon. So to see him grow up enjoying Chap Mei is one of the many reasons why I fell in love with the company. And you know, to have them still continuing to make dinosaurs to this day is honestly such a great thing, especially when it comes to creating new dinosaurs and new species of dinosaurs like this Concavenator. And I think this one is pretty cool. Again, it pretty much has all of the stuff you normally find with Chap Mei. It has like their very, very cool, very highly detailed look when it comes to the skin texture. It's got that classic Chap Mei roar. It has the quite nice looking color scheme that they've given it. Again, they don't really go overboard with their colors or anything nowadays. They did, you know, at one time, they used to apply a ton of color to their figures, but nowadays it seems like they focus on more just kind of regular, natural looking color schemes for their dinosaurs, and I think this one is really nice. I honestly really quite like the way that they've painted this, and again, the overall color scheme and the tones of color chosen, and especially the way that that green eye plays off of the dark brown is a very nice touch, and the reds up there in the hump on the back also a really nice touch. Again, the figure is pretty cool looking. It does have the screw holes and everything on it, which is very common when it comes to Chap Mei, something that they've always had going on. It also has the opened up insides of the legs, which is also something, again, very common for modern Chap Mei. But on top of the very nice sculpt and, of course, the nice paint apps, we've got some articulation. You've got a really cool action feature there with the sound and light up feature. Again, it's very clearly based towards kids. It's not something that's based for adult collectors. Definitely based towards kids, but the figures are so cool, in my opinion, that you can still, as an adult collector, enjoy them and collect them, and I certainly do enjoy that. And again, just a really cool figure now, yet again, that I get to add to my Chap Mei collection. So if you are interested in picking one of these up and adding it to your collection, your best bet would be to search in a few different places, because Chap Mei figures are pretty much spread throughout many different stores, and they all seem to kind of get the same figures and stuff for the most part. So you could check like Cracker Barrel, Family Dollar, Dollar General, those sort of places, Big Lots, they all carry the Chap Mei brand. So again, you just kind of need to look around and see which store happens to have this one in stock. But definitely a very cool figure, definitely worth picking up if you are a Chap Mei fan and a Chap Mei collector like I am. So make sure you do that if you can come across it, and of course, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.